Max, are you able to hear us?
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I've been here. I've been watching you guys. Keeping an eye on you.
All right, I think we have everybody, at least we have a quorum, so we can start.
Okay. We will start with our normal preamble that this is being recorded and it's being done by virtually and the same as we have done in previous months. So I'd like to call the meeting to order of February 16th, 2021 of the Lower Island Township Development Authority. Proof of publication is available. First item on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes of the January 18th, 2021 meeting. Has anybody had an opportunity to read those minutes?
If there are no comments, I would move to approve.
I would second.
Okay, we have a move or motion by, who is that, Ed?
Yes.
No. Motion by Ed, second by Sal. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. I didn't, is there some public comment there? Anybody online here that from the public? Hearing none, we'll move right along to the first action item. Approve the Eastern PCM LLC agreement for construction project management services in the amount of $236,000 even. Aaron, you want to give some background on that?
Sure. This is a proposal from Eastern PCM LLC. We have Bill Morgan here on behalf of Eastern PCM. We had asked him for a proposal for construction project management services, and he provided a proposal to us. I think that was distributed in your packet. This seems like a fair contract and in line with what kind of pricing we would have expected to have seen from other companies for construction project management for a project of this size. Bill is kind of an obvious choice at this point because he's been involved in the bid package for the site and for the building, so he's familiar with the project already. If you have questions, you can direct them to Bill.
Bill, does that start from the time of the bid opening until the completion?
Yes, effectively, we had a small assignment that was awarded by the board for the bid phase for the site work and the building package. And then you're correct, typically the construction period would start upon the award of the contract to the particular contractor, whereby we would initiate the preparation of the construction contracts, which have been approved by your, I believe, by your council. They were incorporated in the bid package. So the short answer is yes, and goes through substantial completion, which we have slated as September 15th, and final completion September 30th for turnover to your tenant on or before October 1st.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on that?
I would move to approve the contract for Eastern PCM.
I'll second.
A motion by Ed, second by John. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Heading down the list, next action item, approve a proposal from BL for construction administration services in amount not to exceed $5,000 even.
This is an additional contract for BL so that while we are having construction services and questions from bidders, that they are being paid to answer those questions and also are being paid to answer questions during the construction of the site and building. This is it's a time and management or time and materials proposal.
Okay,
So,
and this
Aaron-
is the site services.
Yes,
So this is pertaining to the fact that BL did the design, so they would be receiving questions about the design.
yes,
And that's different from the previous contract to manage all the construction. It's a sidebar from that.
yes.
Okay.
Richie had something you wanted to add.
In addition, they would be, because they're the engineer of record on the design, this would cover their time to approve shop drawings and so forth, which becomes a need during this kind of construction.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, I forget. Did we have a did we have a motion on that one? Or can we get a motion on that one?
I will move to approve the BL contract for construction period services.
I
I
will
will,
second.
go ahead. Go
All
ahead,
right,
John.
then I'll second it then. Thanks, Sal.
Okay, we have a motion by Ed, second by John. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. Rolling right along, the next action item is approve a change order to the contract with KD3 for architectural design services, the amount of $10,650 even, to incorporate tenants' requested changes.
The tenant for Unit 3 had requested some changes to the design. Our architect, KD3, had pretty much completed all of the design services, and then our tenant decided that they would like some changes. As frustrating as it is, I'm told that's pretty much normal and how it goes. So the plan is that we would pass this cost along to the tenant, or at least most of this cost on to the tenant. We have Dale here on the call if you have any questions about the change order.
This is regarding exterior appearance and design.
It was a change to the exterior, and then I think it structurally changed it slightly. Is that correct, Dale?
Yeah, there'll be a little bit of structural with the front canopy at theirs. They want to extend it out a little bit, and they want to add some like cables going back on the canopy, which aren't really needed, but that's what they're requesting. So
The cables are architectural, not structural.
they will be structural. They will assist some in there because we are extending it out a little bit. It will help a little bit.
Dale, in 25 words or less, can you tell us what the revisions are that are requested by the tenant?
A lot of it, Ed, is changing it to ephes and changing the colors somewhat. Extending the front canopy over their portion slightly. I mean, a lot of it is color changes and it changes the material. So I don't know whether, has everybody seen what we originally had submitted and everything, where there were some metal panels and stuff?
I didn't send it because I wasn't sure we were if it was ready to go, and then we got the change. So I didn't bother to send out the first one.
But Aaron, did you send the previous, what we sent back in the concept design? The 3D renderings?
They've seen the renderings, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So from the renderings, yeah, there was a lot of some metal panels in there, so they want to change that all to an ephes, and we actually had stone accents on the corner and at the bottom of the columns, and they're getting rid of this. They want to get rid of the stone accent also.
So going to ephes will require special inspections too.
Does it burn faster, John?
Not necessarily, no, but because it's exterior insulation and finish system, it pertains to both energy code and the moisture barrier issues with the building. ephes delaminates if it's not installed correctly, so there are special inspections required to make sure the substrate is appropriate.
We'll get the plans to you as soon as we have them.
Bill Morgan, since you're on board now, may I ask, are you in favor of this?
In favor of the proposed changes by the tenant?
Yes.
Well, I saw them. I'm not completely versed in exactly what they're going to be, but it sounds like they've proposed a more economical finish system in lieu of the more architectural finish. So, and I'm neutral on the. I like the original scheme, quite frankly, with the stone columns on either side and balancing out the building. But you know, I cannot. I offer an opinion on the premier tenant and their requests.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Is this going to be passed along in the bids for the construction? Or is that going to be a change order after the bids are received?
I think since the tenant has made the request, the design change, our intent is to have them, is to pass along the cost to the actual tenant.
That's for the architectural. How about the construction?
But in the construction, I think that it might result in, it might actually be less expensive, I think is what I'm hearing, that the materials might cost a little bit less. The tenant, at this point, we're kind of in negotiations with how we're going to handle the changes for the construction costs and how we're going to handle the change order costs.
Okay.
Aaron,
If we had to-
can I?
Pardon?
If we had to guess as to how much less it was going to cost in construction, do we have a ballpark on that?
We might, I don't know if, Bob, if you're able to tell us, are we able to discuss that in executive session? Just because we're kind of negotiating with the tenant at the time.
I'm sorry.
Understood.
Yeah, we can save that for executive session.
Thank you. Understood.
If you want, we can move this to the end of the executive session if you want to come back after that. I guess it's not going to so much matter really for us one way or the other, because if we're engaging the architect, we need to do it now so that he can start making the changes. And then we can worry about negotiating with the tenant on the back end is one approach.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not going to affect my my vote,
Right.
but it would be good for conversation. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the change order to the contract with KD3?
Well,
So
Sal,
moved.
are you suggesting you want to discuss it in an executive session?
No, I am not. I am comfortable I'm comfortable to make the motion and to vote affirmatively for this. The conversation that I wanted to have is just to have a better understanding of what happens afterwards and how the costs might be laid out amongst the various parties. But that's not going to impact my approval or not approval here.
And I'll have some comments on, this is Larry, I'll have some comments on this in the executive session as I've had some conversations with the tenant, but it's probably best for executive session.
Okay.
Okay, so I made a motion, but I don't know if it was heard because Sal had a question
Okay,
or a comment.
okay, we have a motion by John. Have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Sal. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Next item is the approved change order to contract with KD3 for architectural design services in the amount of $4,500 to amend structural steel changes to accommodate timely delivery of materials. Can we have a little bit of background on this?
Sure. So due to COVID and the shutdown, materials were not being made for a while, and now everything is on, not everything, but some materials are very difficult to come by and they're on back order. And we have a fairly tight timeline to deliver this building to the tenant. So we wanted to be cognizant of that and make sure that we weren't going to run into delays with delivery of materials. One of those items, Bill Morgan identified being a bar joist. And so rather than waiting 5 months for that to be delivered, when we don't have 5 months, we asked the architect if possibly they could redesign the building, or they could get rid of the bar joist so that it would not include that delay. And again, Bill Morgan and Dale Hare are in this meeting in case you have further questions.
Seems
Is
this
that
comes
gonna-
up too often.
That's not going to be something that our tenant is going to be wanting to discuss. Is that correct?
Alan's shaking his head no.
I was gonna say, which one of us is diving in with that question? I think.
No,
That's-
we have a firm delivery date.
I think the change is probably gonna involve larger columns possibly, or thicker columns, heavier columns.
Actually, we don't know. We're thinking in the main tenant space, there will be very minimal change to the column size. Over in the 3 other retail spaces, we are going to have to add at least 2 columns, maybe 4, and they would go in the demising walls between the tenant spaces anyways, with that. So that's the only place there where we're gonna have to add some columns. But the other ones, if they go up, it'll be very minimal in size. We had talked with the structural engineer about this, just kind of preliminary what his thoughts were.
And Aaron, if I could just add to your comments, the driver on this were the bar joists. We checked with 2 local steel suppliers and actually the bar joist manufacturer. And if they're ordered today, they're delivering in August of this year. So the lead times are ridiculous, 16 to 18 weeks, and they're not getting any better. And besides COVID and everything else going on, another big driver is the warehouse construction. They're just eating up bar joists and driving the delay. So Dale reached out to Ken Robinson and Dale to come up with a more beam and column structure to support the roof, which will be a much quicker delivery than would the bar joists.
So I think it's fantastic that we're thinking about it this way. My only concern is if there's any kind of change to the design, is that going to upset the tenant and make the tenant want to come back with even more changes or deny or any of those things? Are they in a position to do so?
But
Or
with changing,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Or is this so minimal that no one's going to care or notice?
it's going to, what we're doing, Sal, is changing out the bar joists to steel beams. They won't stick down anymore. We'll still meet all their shell specifications.
Right.
Okay.
And the main part is they in the main part of the store, they actually have a drop ceiling anyway, so nobody will be seeing the difference.
Okay, great. Thank you. That
Mhm.
answers my question.
The gross floor area stays the same, so they're not losing any kind of space or anything with this, so.
Okay, that clarifies it for me. Thank you very much.
And they're not losing any volume due to a height restriction or height reduction either.
We're well above their height restriction, or the height, what they want in
Okay.
there. We're
Yeah.
clearance. I think they wanted 18 feet minimum, and I think we might be at 21 or 22 right now. So I don't see the beams getting any deep, coming down deeper than the steel joists were.
Very good explanation.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion to approve the change order?
So move.
Okay, motion by John,
Second. I'll
second by
second.
Sal, second by Sal. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I heard two ayes, three. Okay.
I'm sorry, I
Ed?
was multitasking.
Oh, okay. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Next item, discussion, minutes of the February 11th, 2021 meeting of the Lower Allen Commons condominium.
As you will recall, we had dissolved the Capital City condominium and have started the Lower Allen Commons condominium. And since the Development Authority still owns all of, or most of the property there, it made sense that the officers on the condo are listed, and you'll recall this from December when we filed the paperwork. I'm listed as the president, Max is listed as the vice president, and John is listed as the secretary, primarily for ease of, we're often in the same area, so we're able to get documents signed. And that was the case on February 11th. We were all in the same area, so we convened a meeting of the Lower Allen Commons condominium, primarily for the purpose of opening a bank account with F&M for the Lower Allen Commons condominium. And we also authorized PMI to act as an agent on behalf of the Lower Allen Commons condominium, so they could open up, or so they could be signers on the account, which would allow them to, write checks on behalf of the condo.
And it was not subject to the Sunshine Act
That is correct.
because it's a private.
It is a nonprofit organization.
Nonprofit.
With the condominium.
So,
But since
any questions on that? Okay, we'll move on. Next action item is to authorize PMI to act as agent on behalf of the Lower Allen Commons condominium project account with F&M Trust. This is sort of ratifying, I guess, what what we did. So
I'll move to authorize PMI to act as agent on behalf of Lower Allen Commons Condominium Association.
okay, motion by
second.
John, second by Sal. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next item, action item, authorize Brown, Schultz, Sheridan, and Fritz to prepare the US Form 990 and 2020 annual report for the industrial authorities for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on behalf of Lower Allen Township Development Authority, amount of $1,050.
this is
I
the
think-
agency that's done our, that has filed our 990 for us the last several years. They also are the auditors for the township. The Development Authority is a component unit of the township, so they're already actually in the middle of the audit, so they're already going through and asking me questions about the Development Authority. So they're already familiar with our activities and our mission. And having done it in the past, I think they're fairly well poised to do this again.
Any questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion to to act on this?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Sal,
I'll second.
second by John. Was that John?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, opposed? The ayes have it. Do we have anything else to bring forth before we enter into executive session? Aaron, do you, anything else that,
I don't believe so.
no? Okay, then, let's see, have a motion to go into executive session? Do we,
So moved.
a motion by Ed,
I'll
have a
second.
second by Sal. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, ayes have it. We may come out of this meeting and make a decision, so we will not close the regular scheduled meeting.
So we'll recess to it. I can put those of you that are not members of the Development Authority into a waiting room, or you're welcome to, if you have no interest in what comes out of it, you're welcome to sign off. Bill, you may, if you are okay hanging on for maybe the first 5 minutes just to give a schedule update of the bid process, that would be great. Or if not, I can go through it with them.
I have those dates laid out, so if you'd like, I can review those, Aaron.
Okay, that'd be great. In fact, if you want, you can do that. We don't even have to have the executive session for that, but I don't want to screw up the motions and the order of the meeting here.
Okay. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, so relative to the site packages that have been advertised and are currently are in the bid process, we did reschedule the bid and push it 1 week due to several revisions in some of the site drawings that we were provided with by the engineer. So February 23rd is the date for receipt of bids, just 1 week later. We spoke with Aaron about getting a special meeting of the board on February 24th to award the contracts to the low responsible bidder. The start date is not moving. That's March 1st. Mobilization start date for the contractor. And then, as I said earlier, substantial completion September 15th. The building package, which will be a general trades package, a mechanical, which is HVAC and plumbing, and in the electrical package, 3 separate primes, are subject to the receipt of bid, the receipt of plans by KD3, which are scheduled for Dale March 10th, is what I believe we discussed.
Correct.
Once we receive the plans, we'll need a few days to go through them, package up the balance of the bid package, such that that project is posted on PennBid on March 16th for receipt of bids April 16th, which is a Friday. Board approval that following Monday at your regularly scheduled meeting, the 19th, and with a start date of May 1st. Again, same coinciding completion dates, September 15th, substantial, and final on September 30th. And that's where we are. And those dates at this point cannot move. There's enough time, but there's not too much time.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna stop recording and we can go into executive session.
Okay, Aaron, you don't need me anymore, right? I can.
I think you're good. Thank you, Dale, for joining
Okay.
us.
Yep,
Thank
thank
you.
you, everyone.
You too.
Thank you. It's good to see you
Okay.
guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Nope, recorder just came on. So coming back into regular session of the meeting, 7:04 PM. Is there any other business that anyone wants to bring up before we close the meeting? We did have a executive session meeting to discuss real estate matters and personnel issues. And no further action is determined to be necessary. We will announce the next meeting date, special meeting for the authority on Wednesday, February 24th, 2021 at 6:30 PM instead of our usual 6:00 PM meeting. Other than that,
Should we announce the purpose of the special meeting?
yes. Well, the purpose of the meeting is to review and possibly take action on construction bids that are being received on Tuesday, February 23rd for the site work and for the site work on the project
At Lower Island Commons.
at Lower Island Commons. Yep.
Okay, then, Mr. Chairman, I take my usual cue here and make the motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by John, second by Sal. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed? All right. We'll talk to you a week from tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.